Hey guys, and welcome back to That LP Show. The name of the game is Donkey Kong 64. Last time, we finished off Fungi Forest with the exception of one golden banana for Lanky that we had to leave behind because we don't have the means to get it just yet. And the way you're actually intended to get down from that platform is by switching to Diddy Kong and using the jet barrel to hover down slowly. But my way is cooler. Plus, I want to conserve my crystal coconuts for the next area. So let's go ahead and release one more lock and see what K-Lumsy uncovers with his happy dance this time. Number 5 out of 8, that means we're officially more than halfway done with the game. It's easy to be overwhelmed by the amount of collectibles, but it's really not that long of a game if you know what you're doing. And we blow up the Ear Rock. I did a few tours to Ear Rock. Not exactly the world's most pleasant vacation spot. Oh. Well, I guess I was wrong earlier. That key also unlocks 2 different locations. Well, we'll deal with that later. For now, we're going to go and invade Ear Rock. Actually, first, we're going to revisit Gloomy Galleon. Well, the area outside of Gloomy Galleon, because now that we have the Super Simian Slam, there's something that we can get there. And as long as the topic is still fresh in my memory, it is pronounced Iraq. That's how they pronounce it there. It's not Iraq. What the hell even is that? Iraq. It sounds like something Apple would make for breast augmentations. Whatever. Anyway, you probably remember this blue switch from our previous visit. It opens up a little pathway for us, a pathway that is obviously way too small for Chunky to squeeze through. Fortunately, we have access to this conveniently placed tag barrel, and we will switch over to Tiny Kong. But yet, in her current state, she is still too large to fit through there. So, I'm not sure if I showed this off before, but it's been here the entire time, we just couldn't do much with it. But if we jump up here and glide, there's a mini monkey barrel. So in the next area, we're actually going to need a lot of crystal coconuts in order to collect everything, because we're going to be making liberal use of all the abilities that use crystal coconuts. However, we also have access to a bunch of golden bananas that we can get before we enter there, and some of those also require us to use crystal coconuts, so be quick about this, because you do want to conserve. Actually, considering the name of the next area, it's actually kind of appropriate that we'll be making use of so many crystal coconuts. You'll see why. In fact, I think the only one who doesn't use any crystal coconuts in the next area is Donkey Kong. But we are going to have to do a little bit of shrinking with Tiny, a lot of jetpacking with Diddy. He's probably going to use the most coconuts, so we really need to keep our count high for him, especially since some of these challenges are quite difficult and it's easy to run low on them. And it's in the next area that Chunky and Lanky will be getting new abilities which require crystal coconuts. Lanky's new ability actually being the one that we'll need to use to go back to Fungi Forest to get his missing golden banana. Anyway, to even get in the next area, we are going to need Tiny Kong's ponytail twirl ability. There might be another way to get in here, but I'm pretty sure that the game intends you to do it this way. Come on, camera, turn around. Yeah, you don't get the best angle for jumping onto that ledge. Oh, this is a pretty area. What does this button do? Oh, it reveals wrinkly doors for Lanky and Chunky, but we're going to need something to permanently stay on that switch in order for them to stay down. This isn't completely necessary, especially if you really don't need hints, but I just wanted to show off how to do it anyway. We have some thin ice walls that we can break open with Chunky Kong's Primate Punch. And you probably saw that golden banana at the other end of that lava pool, so we'll be getting that. But the rock we need for that switch is right here. We want to be careful to grab it and get away from this Kasplat as fast as we can, because he'll knock it out of our hands and just be generally annoying. And that Kasplat is weird. If we knock him out right now, you probably saw by his blue hair, he's holding one of Lanky's blueprints. There we go. But if we knock him out right now, without using Lanky, we're going to actually have to exit the area in order to make him respawn, because I've stood here for a little while, and he doesn't seem to respawn unless you leave the area and come back in. But while I'm here, I like to take care of him last, because I like to enter the next area as Lanky. Okay, so using DK Strong Kong ability, we want to be really quick. Using rolls helps. That seems to be the fastest way to move around with him is constant rolls, even though it's hard to run in a straight line here. But I want to get over this pool of lava and grab this golden banana and get back as fast as I can because I don't want to drain too far down on crystal coconuts. Alright, come on, let's get out of here. It would help if the camera turned around so I can see the ledge. And that brings me to an issue that we're going to be running into in the next area. It's very cramped, so the camera has a hard time moving around. Because back in the Nintendo 64 games, they like to contextualize the camera and pretend that it's like a little floaty guy with a camera following you around. That's why they did the whole thing with the Lakitu brothers in TK64. Oh, hello, Wrinkly. I don't need to talk to you right now. Yeah, but back in the N64 games, it was always like you had a floating cameraman following you around, and that floating cameraman was not a ghost, so he couldn't phase through solid objects. And that's why the camera in Nintendo 64 games always has a hard time following your character around tight corners, because they also have to go around that tight corner. And of course, any camera control that you do have is relegated to buttons instead of a stick, so you have to tap those buttons, which means that your cameraman moves in segments and then stops a little bit before they're able to move again. The fact that I'm playing on the Wii U means that I have to use a stick to use those controls, and they function just the same, which means I'm constantly having to tap a stick over to one side, and every once in a while, it doesn't register all that well, and I end up zooming in instead of actually swinging in the camera. But alas, that's not really an issue with the game, or the controller, and neither one of them are really at fault, it's just that the two don't seem to mesh together all that well. Good developers of any particular area are well aware of the limitations of the technology, and they build their games around that. So things tend to go all cattywampus when you're playing an old game on new hardware. And that's why you need fan-created renderers in order to play Deus Ex on a modern console. K-Rool, what the hell are you talking about? Your minions have been getting their asses handed to them. You're not gaining any ground on us. Have you even been paying attention the entire time? And he's assuming that he has the Kongs beat because he sent Dogadon after them, like he wasn't already beaten by Diddy. I can't figure out if Rare was actually having a hard time deciding whether or not they wanted to make K-Rool menacing or comical as a villain, or if they were doing it intentionally to play up the fact that he has an apparent multiple personality disorder, or at the very least a very severe identity crisis. I think he may simply be in denial, because he starts the game revealing his master plan very menacingly. But as things continue to go wrong for him, you see his mental state slowly degrading through each subsequent cutscene. It would seem that King K. Rool has piss-poor stress coping mechanisms. So here we are in Crystal Caves, which I swear could easily be the name of an area in a Final Fantasy game. And this is probably my second least favorite stage of the game. Mostly because there are areas here with ice physics, and those of you who have been watching my channel long enough know that I'm not the biggest fan of ice stages. However, I will give credit where credit is due. Crystal Cave's bonus areas seem like they actually belong in Crystal Caves. Anyway, there should be a cutscene triggering there we go. So one of the gimmicks for the stage is this guy right here, a giant Kasha who's constantly slamming his club against the ground and causing stalactites to fall from the ceiling. And this can actually get very annoying. But as soon as we get to him and kill him, that'll stop. So we're going to try to get to that as quick as we can. That way we can progress through the rest of the stage peacefully without having to worry about giant rocks falling on us. Anyway, new ability here for Lanky, the Orangutan Sprint. This is actually the ability that we're going to need to get his last banana in Fungi Forest. We activate it by finding a barrel with his face on it, and it's fueled by crystal coconuts, and it allows him to do a handstand and move super fast. Like stupid fast, to the point where he's almost difficult to control. And of course, like any other crystal coconut ability, you can deactivate it by holding down the Z button and pressing C left. Okay, we do have a few more potions for other Kongs here, but first, there's something that I want to grab real quick. We can use his inflate ability. There are a few bunches of blue bananas right up here, so I just want to grab those real quick, and then we'll be switching over to another Kong and grabbing a new potion. The only ones who don't get new abilities in this stage are Donkey and Diddy. So I guess we'll switch over to Tiny real quick, since I'll be using Chunky as soon as we're done getting his potion. No, old man, I don't want to play jetpack. Stop asking. I'll go to the menu if I want it. Alright, and for Tiny Kong, we get Monkey Port. An odd ability, to be honest. So unlike the other pads with different Kong's faces on them, Tiny Kong's pads come in pairs, and they act like regular teleport pads. You step on one pad with Tiny Kong's face, press the Z button, and you'll be teleported to a corresponding pad with her face on it. So it's pretty much nothing but a teleport that's exclusive to Tiny. Kinda weird. Anyway, one more potion to get before moving on, and it belongs to Chunky Kong. And it's while we're getting this potion for Chunky that I don't really care for Cranky's behavior. Okay, let's skip through this dialogue real quick so I can get to it. And from this potion, we get Gorilla Gone, a crystal coconut-fueled ability that turns Chunky invisible when you stand on a pad with his face on it and press the Z button. Now check this out. Read Cranky's dialogue here. Now, I do like Cranky Kong. Yeah, I think the whole gimmick with him being this crotchety old man who's stuck in the past, not liking anything modern, he's Cranky Kong, so he's going to be cranky. That's all fine and everything. But his treatment of Chunky Kong right there was outright mean-spirited and abusive, just shaming him for no reason. It makes him really unlikable. But that's the last that we'll have to deal with him in Crystal Caves, so best not to let it bother us. We'll be going back to that cave I just smashed open in a second here. Whoa, come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Camera, thank you. And that song cues the falling stalactites. We'll be dealing with them soon enough. In fact, where I'm headed right now is our first step towards stopping these falling stalactites permanently. And believe me, you want to stop those things as quick as you can because they will hinder you throughout the rest of Crystal Caves, and it's just outright annoying. But there are a few things on the beaten path. As long as we're going through the steps in order to stop the stalactites, I'll get those along the way, including a few golden bananas. Come on, put it down. Put it down, what the hell? There we go, that was weird. It's like it wouldn't let me put it down unless I was not standing on the switch. Alright, and that giant boulder that we uncovered is located in that cave that we smashed open a few seconds ago. Make sure I don't fall off. I get a very strange sense of claustrophobia when I'm in Crystal Caves. It's probably due to the fact that it's a cave. It's supposed to feel that way. So the game definitely gets an A+ for an immersive environment right there. But it's also very cramped for the camera system as well. Sometimes it's just very hard to, see where you're going when you're making a jump. Yeah, I don't want to try to jump. Oh, okay, well, whatever. I was going to say I didn't want to try jumping over these gaps with the stalactites falling, but I got hit anyway, whatever. At least I didn't get hit in the middle of a jump and end up having to climb all the way back up. That would have annoyed me. Okay, so that's a really, really big rock. We're going to need some assistance lifting that up. Fortunately, there's a conveniently placed hunky chunky barrel right here. And now you can easily lift it up. Let's go ahead and gather up these green bananas real quick. And let's find a good resting spot. There we go. Oh, well, it's barely even on there. Well, whatever works. I'm not going to complain. Now, what you don't see in this cutscene, for some reason, is one of Tiny Kong's monkey port pads right next to that golden banana. I guess it just doesn't render during the cutscene, but it makes it really hard to realize that that's where you need to go with Tiny Kong in order to get up to that kasha and stop the stalactites from falling. I mean, I guess you'd realize it eventually when you went there with Chunky Kong to get the golden banana and saw the pad sitting there, then you'd figure it out. Anyway, not going there with Chunky or Tiny immediately. As you can see, there are a few things right here on the beaten path that we can get with DK, so might as well just grab them while we're here. And launch ourselves up to a barrel cannon area, and don't worry, the stalactites can't get us here. And at the end of this bonus area, we're going to be rewarded with another bonus area. Well, specifically a bonus game. But as I was saying earlier regarding bonus areas, the disconnected bonus games that you get in the bonus barrels, there aren't that many in Crystal Caves. We'll be getting a good deal of the golden bananas in Crystal Caves through little mini challenges and bonus areas that actually feel like they belong here in the area. They don't feel disconnected. They don't feel like they're in a completely different environment, which I do like. But as we'll see later on, Crystal Caves also has what I consider to be some of the most obnoxiously difficult bonus areas in the entire game. And I'm not talking about mini games like Beaver Bother. I'm talking about like actual just like bonus areas exclusive to Crystal Caves that you'll only find here. And they're just ball busting for all the wrong reasons. Specifically, one of Diddy's, one of Donkey's, and 2 of Lanky's. But once again, this is just all in my personal opinion. It's things that I have difficulty with. Maybe they're easy for other people. Kind of like how some people have a problem with Busy Barrel Barrage here, but I actually find it to be kind of easy once you know what you're doing. The key is to pay close attention to the order in which the critters spawn, because you want to be able to be on the ready to fire away at whatever critter charges at you first. 2 things that you want to remember: the way the camera swings around, whenever you point up, you're actually going to zoom the camera far enough away from the bottom of the screen to where you won't see that critter spawn. But if you're pointing straight down, you'll have a good vantage point to see all the rest of them spawn. So whenever you don't see any critters on the screen, make sure to quickly point down in order to see that critter spawning when it does. It's also good to remember that each critter takes 2 shots in order to take out, so don't just blast one and then turn away. Make sure you hit it with 2 coconuts before moving on to the next one. So hopefully that information helps anybody who's been having difficulty with that particular game. And my wife is signaling me that dinner is ready. Cue crossfade. And now I have a warm steak and a cold beer inside of me. Where were we? Stopping falling rocks? Sounds good. Alright, I'm switching over to Diddy Kong real quick though, because he has a few things that we can gather up while we're here. And there we go. Sometimes I miss that jump for some reason. Okay, this is just something I want to get out of the way real quick with Diddy Kong while I'm here. He does have a few collectibles up in the air, mainly just, mainly just red bananas. I want to fly through this star right here. There we go, because that actually makes some music pads up here, and this will give access for each of the Kong into that igloo right there, which will handle all of that probably toward the end of Crystal Caves. Come on, go forward. Yeah, but I just wanted to get those right now while I'm up in the air. Not to mention, I'm not a big fan of Diddy's jetpack controls, so the sooner I can get his stuff over with, the better. Now, one more thing I want to get, and it's a little bit of a pain in the ass. There's a number 4 pad right there, and I want to land on it. Okay, well, whatever. That works. That works. I was going to say I want to land directly on it, which is hard to do because of poor drop shadows, but what happened there works just fine for me. Yeah, mission accomplished, and I got those red bananas while I was at it. And like I said, I'm going to save the challenges in that igloo for the end of Crystal Caves, especially Donkey Kong's, because I need to get something before going into his, because otherwise I just won't be able to do it. I won't. I'm not saying it would be impossible, I'm just saying I'm not good enough. So that can wait until later. For right now, I just want to grab Chunky Kong's golden banana, and of course the green banana circling around there, and you can already see it right there. There's Tiny Kong's monkey port pad that we didn't see in the cutscene. But first, come on, grab the green banana. One more thing to gather up with Chunky Kong. I could probably wait until later, but I figure I got him right here, and it doesn't take too much time. He has a Kasplat right up here. Let's go ahead and, oh, come on. I want to get up there before he does his damn shockwave. And go. There we go. Stay down. Whoa, no, 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 no. Get up, get up, get up, get up before it despawns. Come on. That made my butthole clench. All right, let's switch back to Tiny Kong and get this falling rock crap over with. Yeah, we want to do this as fast as we can because after these rocks stop falling, the stage just becomes way more manageable. I didn't say easy, I said more manageable. There's still the matter of some of these BS bonus areas that we're going to have to deal with. Made difficult, mostly in part to the lack of proper drop shadows in the game. What else is new? Actually, if you're playing this game on the Nintendo 64, the frame rate of the game is actually going to mess you up on one of those bonus areas. Fortunately, not something I really have to deal with here. Oh, cool. Awesome. You just had to get one last hit in, didn't you? Whatever. That Kasha's dead. He's not going to respawn. We're not going to have to deal with him or his falling rocks ever again. And now we can go about our business in Crystal Caves in peace. And as long as we're up here, we do have some purple bananas with Tiny Kong and plenty of crystal coconuts, so we want to pick those up. Like I've been saying, we want to keep our crystal coconut count up during our stay here in Crystal Caves, which is, you know, crystal coconuts, crystal caves, appropriate enough that we should, you know, need so many. I wonder if Crystal Caves is where the crystal coconuts originated, at least in the context of this game. Don't bring up that crap about Inka Dinka Doo from the, you know, from the TV show. Yeah, just Inka Dinka don't. You know, if Nintendo does ever decide to let somebody make an animated Donkey Kong Country movie, I hope they let DreamWorks do it, because some of the character designs from the Ice Age series I think would fit in very well with the art style of Tropical Freeze. Anyway, no more falling rocks to worry about, so now we can freely go about our business in Crystal Caves gathering up all of the golden bananas, but that's going to have to wait until next time. And until next time, thank you for watching That LP Show, and have a one that is good.